library started in the summer of 2018 as an idea which came about in a casual conversation between a few residents in one of the common areas. So we went around scouting for a place to set up the library, and we found a storeroom in one of the clubhouses. We used to run it as a volunteer-run initiative. It is still a very much volunteer-led library. That time we used to keep it open in the evenings for a few hours, and we had a rota system where people from the community would come and volunteer as librarians, and that's how we started. By mid-2019 the room was full and there was no more space to add more books. Exactly at that time, Natasha, who runs Courtyard Koota, this wonderful performance space on the ground floor of Tarana, she reached out and she said, "I heard you are looking for a space for the library, why don't you come to Koota?" That is how we moved to the space where we are now. We moved to a membership model as of last year, and all the money that comes in through the membership and more in fact goes into buying books. So every month we get a new set of books which are curated by people who are avid book lovers from the community, as well as experts, children's literature experts, librarians, bookstore owners. So we have many sources and many lovely people associated with the library who help us curate the collection. The books that we buy every month, we make sure that we get it from the local bookstores like Blossoms or Champaka, Lightroom, and all of them have also helped the library in terms of curation. And it's lovely also to work together on this library, and we would welcome everyone who is new to Malhar to come and check out the space, come engage, get involved in whatever way you can. Because it in fact is a lot of fun working together on a project like this.
Sarah said, if you have a library and a garden, you have everything. And I firmly believe in that. I grew up on a campus which had two libraries. It was a college campus. There was the big college library and there was the tiny children's library. It was the small tiny children's library which led me to the world of books, introduced me to the world of books, and I moved from there to the college library, to the bigger library, to the bigger shelf. Standing around the librarian's table with other book borrowers or book lovers and talking about the books we were returning or taking, swapping stories about the books, conversations around books. This was all a very important part of my growing up. So every community I have lived in, I have looked for a library. So when we came to GoodEarth, it's not surprising that I found a group of fellow library lovers, book lovers, and we got together and decided to set up a library. And we did. We started curating books based on the readers of the community, what their suggestions were. So if you take a look at our bookshelves, at the shelves in the library, the books actually reflect the diversity of the community in GoodEarth. So you will find a Man Booker Prize winner or a Nobel Prize winner sitting side by side with the Grishams and the other pulp fiction or bestsellers. So we have them all on the, and I think it is this coming together of different tastes and different interests that this library has achieved. So I would say come, browse the shelves, take a look at what we have, and if you see we have books for all ages. We have tried, and the curation has been also thematic. Like for example, when we had the Wild Malhar month, we acquired a whole range of books for adults, young readers, toddlers, or books related to nature, ecology, environment. So we have a selection of books on a particular theme for all book lovers. So I would say come, browse the shelves, walk around, take a look, join the library and have fun.
Okay, so the Koota library started in this space with the idea that children should reconnect with books. So one thing they do is come read, lie around, play games, discuss their books and all of that. But what we also felt to spark their interests in new kinds of genres and new kinds of authors, so we started having events. So for example, some of the most exciting events that I've been part of was the Harry Potter night that we did. So we had kids who were Harry Potter buffs came dressed up. The little ones who had not yet reached Harry Potter were all ready to explore and find out more about it, and they got a sneak preview through the games and through the story readings and through the quizzes that they were all part of. So that kind of pushes kids to start exploring newer and newer kinds of books. We've also had book readings, we've had different kinds of reading festivals. We've had authors come here and talk through their stories, and we've had gaming fun events as well where kids come. So now a lot of books have also been made into movies, and Koota also offers a space where you can actually have a small little film show. So a lot of these events are interconnected, and it helps kids kind of develop a multimedia experience. And what we've also found is a lot of books, adults have grown up reading them, whether it's comics or even Harry Potter. So a lot of these events are not necessarily designed for one age group, but ends up attracting a whole varied set of audiences. And I think that's what makes the energy come alive.
Hi, I'm Deepthi, a resident of Malhar Footprints. So post the library had been set up, we also thought it would be great if we could reach out to the communities that live around us. Now what we're trying to do is reach out to the government schools in these areas. We're trying to see how we can improve literacy. We're also making our books available in these schools, so the kids get to read them. Once a week we go to these schools, we take our books, we read stories, we have volunteers who come and read at these places. Going forward, I think we'd like to engage more with the community.
I like coming to the library because I get to read books which I haven't read before, like Geronimo Stilton, which I've not read. Now I've read all the books just because I came to the library. It's really a nice place. You should all come to the library.
Hi, I'm Anita and this is my daughter Swara. Both of us love coming to the library. The entire trip is an experience for us. There's a fish pond right outside that sometimes she likes to stop to look at. Also, it's usually a group experience. We come along with the friends and children of friends, and we come and read for a group of kids, which is a lovely experience. They love the process of checking out books as well, and Priya auntie here is so sweet with the children. She knows their names, and they love coming and giving her the book and telling this is what I want. I enjoy it too because there's great books for adults, and it's also fun picking books from for my older son because it reminds me of the books that I read when I was a child. It's a beautiful selection of books. There's a vast variety of books that's available outside. It's difficult to choose, but the nice thing about the Koota library is that the selection is really meaningful and wonderful.
I love the library so much that I have to say something about this space, which is so inspiring, so calm, so nice. Everything is here. A space and some books. We don't need anything else. And there is only one problem. I don't come here enough. So I'll use this moment to say that I promise I'll come here at least once in a week.
Community libraries are important for at least 3 reasons. For variety, for cost, and to build a shared culture. First, variety. Each member of the community brings their diverse interests, reading interests, to the building of the library. So the library becomes a diverse collection with a variety of books, classics, modern, poetry, prose, fiction, non-fiction, all kinds of books. Second, cost. The individual cost for every member of the community is relatively low, but collectively, a very large collection can quickly be built up. So at low cost, low individual cost, the community has a large, diverse collection. Third, building a shared culture. The books become a common resource which can then be used for dialogue, for discussion, and simply to enjoy a shared space, a shared reading space together.
Yeah, the idea of a community library was most exciting because at a time when we've all taken it for granted that we just buy things when we feel like, on an impulse, whether it's a book or whether it's an experience that you want, that you just go out and buy, and it's all become so individual. It was an interesting thing to create a space where it's about sharing, where it's about waiting for something, where it's about slowing down, where it's about negotiating with somebody else, and also having a common space where you can come, share stories, be lost together, and doing things together rather than just about making even the act of reading a very individual, lonely, alone time. So I think it's the possibility that a library offers of sharing and creating a space together that was most exciting. And I found this with my daughter, who reads a lot. And for her it was about, this book is out, I want to get this book. So the idea of going out and sharing this with somebody else and finding out who has it, and therefore finding it and searching for it, and the adventure of searching for it is what we were looking at when we started the community library. And the fact that it started with a set of books that were pooled in from everyone, and then it became where we now have a different model where it's based on subscriptions, I think is in some ways embodies the spirit of that fact that it is in a community and it is by the community, with of course somebody holding it together. Yeah, that's really to me the idea of and the spirit of a community library.